So I came across this ridiculous game with brilliant move after brilliant move. And I saw it was played by GM Carsten from Denmark. And after seeing the game, I was like, nah, no way, this guy has to be Magnus Carlsen. They put his name wrong somehow. But there it was. GM Carsten was actually a grandmaster born in the 50s from Denmark that turned out to be quite the amazing player. So there it is. Before Carlsen, there was Carsten, and his opponent was Boris Gulko, basically a grandmaster that ran for the Russian Federation and went to live to America. So yeah, let's just get to this game that proves that if your name is Carlsen, Carsten, or something like that, you're just a chess genius. Okay, so I'll kind of quickly go through the opening because it's not really the most important part, and you'll see why in just a minute. So we start the game with d4, and the theory here is quite heavy. So after d4, we see e6, we have knight f3 by white, black plays c5 starting to contest the center, we have e3, reinforcing it, we have knight f6, bishop to d3, b6, just normal developing moves, black aims to put his bishop here, white puts his king to safety, we have castles, bishop b7 by black, knight b to d2, and notice the importance, no knight c3 here, because this move always leaves the possibility of playing c4, playing c3, basically doesn't block this pawn. Also perhaps, maybe white can play something like rook e1, knight f1, knight e3, rotating the knight to the king side, and yeah, go from there. So black continues with c takes on d4, we have e takes on d4, bishop e7, rook e1, black finally puts his king to safety, as you can see only book move so far. We have c3 by white, reinforcing this pawn here in the center, we have d6 by black, queen e2, finally not the book move, just sort of activating the queen, we have rook to e8 by black, knight f1, again looking to do that maneuver I was talking about, rotating the knight to the king side. Now we see knight b to d7 by black, looking to finish his development. We have knight e3 by white, like I was talking about. Now bishop f8, perhaps opening this rook to prepare a possible e5 and just ripping open the center someday. We have bishop g5 by white here, pinning the knight to the queen. We see h6 kicking the bishop back. Bishop goes back to d2 after creating this weakness. We have queen to c7 by Boris, looking to activate the queen, connect the rooks. So far, pretty standard stuff, right? Well, just hold on for a minute. Now we have bishop to c2, and this move has very clear intentions. You just want to vacate the d3 square, put your queen there, and perhaps if you can get the knight out of f6, well, bad things are about to happen for black. So, yeah, one step at a time. So now we have bishop to d5 by black. This move is possibly very annoying for white. It aims to just play the bishop here on c4, but white just says no, no, not on my watch, and simply plays b3 and prevents it. And now that the queen isn't really doing anything on c7, white just moves it and puts it on b7, looking to take this knight and really fizzle white's attack here. But not so simple. White simply goes knight to h4 and refuses this trade. Also, perhaps it would weaken his king. Perhaps the knight also can infiltrate someday. So who knows? He just keeps the game going, keeps the game alive and sharp. Now black here plays this very interesting b5 move, because it looks harmless, but in reality it completely restricts white's activity here on the queen side, because now these a4 and c4 pawn pushes are really out of the equation because they will just compromise white's structure too much. So instead white continues with this plan, he plays queen d3, finally aligns the queen and the bishop, and okay, like I said, the knight is theirs for now, but still, one day, you never know. Now black here continues with g5. He basically signals that he's not afraid because this g5 move forces the knight back. We have knight f3. And now black argues that he can take this knight. And after pawn takes, the structure surrounding white's king is just way too shattered and he'll be able to exploit it. But yeah, now he plays bishop g7, just looking to put the bishop on a slightly more active square. And now comes the move that's going to define the entire game. So this is the first moment I ask you to pause and really think about it. What would you do in white's shoes here? There are a few couple ways to continue here, but one of them just keeps the energy going, and that's what Carsten went for, and that's why it's a genius, really. Now, like I said, there are a couple viable moves here. For example, this pawn push a4 is actually viable now because you're trying to open up this very nice file for your rook here. Also f4, now that your structure has been shattered, you try to shatter your opponent's structure as well, right? With your bishop here. But the move Boris played, I mean, just hats off to the guy. Because here, he played the astonishing h4. What is this? Like, his pawn structure is already shattered, so he's trying to open up his king even more. What is happening here? Boris is kind of forced to take. He takes this pawn, he attacks the knight, but the point of h4 is actually just to open the g file. And now, Carsten's plan is pretty intuitive. As soon as he leads with this threat, he's gonna shuffle his king, bring the rook, just sacrifice, and checkmate. Easy, right? Well, let's see this plan in action. Here we have knight e4, just centralizing the knight that was attacked. And Boris here plays queen c6, because by centralizing these knights, he was aiming into the d6 square, and this would just be a fork, right? So queen c6 is played. And now, what do you think Carsten plays? Well, you probably guessed it, king h1, just looking to shuffle the rook. But here, well, Boris tries to defend. He plays knight h5, which, okay, isn't the best defense, but is relatively logical. He basically wants to play f5, shut the entire diagonal, also controls f5, so pretty reasonable try. Now we have rook to d1, like we talked about, and king f8, just putting the king to safety, right? It doesn't hurt to get the bishop out of the pin. Your king is perfectly safe, right? Right? Um, I don't know, because Carson here releases another bomb. Like, can you see it? I didn't. He plays rook takes bishop. What? Like, he's arguing that the black king is just dead here already. What do you mean? The rook can be taken both ways, but okay, maybe not with the knight, because if knight takes, then the bishop takes the knight. The knight will be pinned, for example, this. The knight is pinned, then the rook will come. Okay, maybe this is too ugly, so let's take with the king. This is what happened in the game. But now can you see the follow-up? Bishop takes h6, giving another piece, another brilliant move. What is happening? So the king is kind of forced to take, but now rook g1, and the king is boxed here in the corner. Oh my god, what is Carsten doing here? What is actually happening? And for example, you think, okay, rook, bring the rook, try to save your pieces. Well, queen e3, and now there's nothing to do, because king here, well, just knight f6, and this is a double check. The king is forced to the corner, and this is mate, so okay. You need to be careful here, because if you play the wrong move, all of a sudden you're dead. So okay, let's try f5, just close the file as soon as possible, so bad things can happen. Right? Well, no, queen e3. Queen e3 keeps the check, and the king again is boxed in, so we have to block, right? f4. Just keeping things completely shut, the knight is here, and yeah, there's no problem, right? Well, can you see the ridiculous third brilliant move here? Like, I didn't, again, but I'm not a chess genius. Let these guys cook. He plays knight takes on d6, sacrificing the queen. No way. No way, man. Okay, once you see it, it makes total sense, Okay, the queen is taken, boom. Knight f7. This is just checkmate with the bishop back here and the rook cutting the king. Just checkmate. So, okay, let's not take the queen. Okay, maybe things are getting a little bit bad, but we can still take the knight, right? Well, kind of, because now queen d3, aligning some very nasty threats here. For example, random move, this is just checkmate, or even this. So let's not do that. Instead, let's try to play knight f8. This guards against everything, and the black king is safe. Well, as you probably guessed by the little question mark here, the black king isn't safe. So there's actually checkmate in this position. So again, pause the video and try to find this very last amazing, brilliant move here. Okay, so this final cherry on top here is this beautiful Queen h7, and the game is over. Because the guy thought he was protecting h7, but no, after knight takes, which is forced, the king can't really go anywhere, like I said, he's boxed in. But after knight takes, the king is stuck by his knights, and he's just powerless. Rook g6, supported by the bishop, just finishes the job, and the rook, collectively with the bishop and the knights here, just murder the black king, and the game is over. So, yeah, what a beautiful game by our Carsten guy here. Again, we come to the conclusion that before Carlsen, we had Carsten. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. It really helps a lot, and catch you in the next one. Bye.